I need you to help me on this mission. Yeah. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of the prison. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sa.neter be the truth, you know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers are so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, where your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces. Oh, God killer, not gonna let that slide. You drowning in a myth, you had nowhere to hide. The HOK is the toughest environment. While we trade blind faith for mental empowerment. I believe the scriptures for your mind, this is the key. It's time to unlearn everything you believe. The house of consciousness, start looking within. That's where the real liberation begins. Oh, this is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of that prison. This is for my brother trapped in religion. Sa.neter be the truth, you know he's on a mission. The HOK is more than just a place. It's a tough environment where you check your faith. Bomb squad and pseudo killers who check your sources. Don't come in front cause you will leave for losses. The Bible written to break your spirit, built to keep you low, feeding you metaphors, stopping your growth. These is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sa.neter be the truth, you know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers all so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, while your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces.
Peace to the family. Peace to the family. This is your brother, Reggie. There's an echo. Do you have YouTube open?
Who?
You.
YouTube?
Background.
No, I don't have YouTube open.
Okay, so why am I backgrounding? Okay, so peace to the family. Welcome to another edition of Black News 102 sa.neter Studios. And I have my Seba, your Seba. Certainly, if you take this class, he will be your Seba, Baba Bonotchi Montgomery. Today, we're going to be talking about miseducation in support of Pan-Africanism. And wow, we have a really special guest. He has a number of books. His last book is The Ambiguous Nature of Words. And that's available at Lulu. And he has several other books that you can look up at Amazon.com. So today is going to be a teaching day. And hopefully you'll be able to ask some questions to the Baba when it comes to miseducation. So we're going to keep the drama down today and just listen. Baba, how you doing today?
Excellent. Excellent is a Kemetic word. It means excellent.
All right. Okay, great. Your screen is jumping a little bit. I don't know why, but it's okay.
The problem I've been having lately, I think it's the camera for some reason.
Okay, so it is that. So please bear with us, but you can hear the Baba and you'll be able to see the screen, and there's nothing we can do about that. So, Baba, what do you have for us today?
Can I share my screen?
Oh, yes, you can, as soon as you share it. And Rashid Phillips, I see you in. Peace.
Rashid is here? Okay.
Oh, you know Rashid?
Yes, Rashid is a student and a friend.
Oh, you sent them the link, right?
Yes, he sent me some information that I'm going to use in this presentation.
Okay, so I'm going to bring them on. All right, wonderful. So here you go, add to stage. And so let's begin.
Okay, so you can see my first slide, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is Medu in support of Pan-Africanism or Pan-Africanism, and you can also substitute that with um, uh, some Black nationalism. Black nationalism and Pan-Africanism is basically the same thing. It's the most appropriate mindset that we have developed to fight white supremacy, or I should say, to fight living under the myths of white supremacy. Because white supremacy is all based on lies. But what it shows you is that the world that we know and the world around us is not based on truth. It's based on beliefs. Anything that you believe, you will use it to understand in the world. Now, some people may say, well, that doesn't sound right. But just think about it. People, they believe in Jesus and God, but those are myths. But they use those myths to construct, understand, and engage the world in which they live in. So it doesn't matter about the truth. It's what you believe and how you use those beliefs to engage the world with. We have been taught by white people to use white ideas and concepts to understand, construct, and engage the world around us. That's a big problem. Why? Because a point I try to make in my book is there's a difference between the way Africans use words and the way white folks use words. White folks, because of slavery in the U.S., white people could never really voice the evilness that they caused us. They couldn't really express the evil that they inflicted on us. So what they did was they started making up all type of euphemisms to not directly engage and face what they were doing to us. Over time, this has become compounded, so much so until now, this whole America and white folks in general have developed a whole bunch of euphemisms that they use. But the problem is that no matter what the euphemisms are, they function the same way, which is to promote living under the myths of white supremacy. So what I'm going to try to do today is to introduce some ideas from Africa that which represent some practical ways of looking at the world, some practical ways of engaging and formulating and then engaging the world around us. So let's begin with this introduction. Now, I would like to ask a question. In terms of a people, have we regressed or progressed? So this is an engagement between a youth, a preacher who we used to call handkerchief head, and just listen to this, and then you tell me, have we progressed or regressed? Oh, wait, not this show. Sorry. Yes. Okay.
Ghettos areas that was pointed out in the film. I'd like to direct a question to Reverend Mitchell. Do you think that we will be satisfied with the jobs they are giving them?
Yes, I think so. Simply because we are asking that you be trained on the job. And they start you off with a certain salary start rates, and you will be at the maximum.
No, I don't believe that. The white man is going to keep you where he got you. You're not going no higher than he wants you to go. And we ain't going to settle for nothing but our way about this violence and non-violence. I'm for violence. Because we have pleaded for the last 400 years.
Demetra, you did not speak for it. How would you talk to your boy like that?
Well, I would say I would definitely have to use the violence. Well, this is not what we are.
I ain't no Uncle Tom.
Salvation.
Can't brainwash.
Jesus said, first you seek the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all of these things again.
Heaven is on earth. Mind your brother.
Where you gonna go when we start revolution? Whose side are you gonna be on? Are you still gonna be on your knees begging for us jobs?
Mr. Nick said he wouldn't his die standing on his feet rather than die on his knees. I would die
standing up for God.
Okay. If God ever told you to let this white man rule you like he is?
Well, young man, your face must be born again. God is a
spirit. Born again? I ain't got to be born again. See, I was born in a new generation. Your mother could have brainwashed you. Can't nobody brainwash me. I'm ready. It's going to take young boys like us to win the revolution.
The white people realize today that they was wrong for enslaving the nigger. The great man, let me finish. I'll wait. If you so militant and so intelligent, why don't you get your mouth?
I'll tell you why, because I'm sick and tired of you standing up there on a television camera, a black man with a white heart and a white face. You're a black man.
That's right.
So now this is very interesting. This represents the time in which I grew up. I'm 74 years old, and this taping looked like it was sometime in the 60s, right? So he asked a very, very important question because he asked a few. But if we look at our condition today, the condition we are in today, because during the 60s, Black nationalism and Black power scared white people so much until they made sure those ideas was eradicated from our minds. So we can't even conceptualize things in a Black nationalist way anymore, because the people who promoted Black nationalism, we know nothing about these people. So interestingly, he asks, this whole discussion was based on jobs, because the preacher was saying that, look, white folks understood that they screwed up, and now they want to correct that by training us and giving us jobs to work for them, not for us. So we find ourselves in this position today. And this is an article that Rashid sent me. Now it's much larger. I'm not using the whole article, but this is the basis of it. 4 Black women, 9 degrees, not one steady paycheck. And you say, why? Because we don't employ ourselves. We look for white people for, employment. Now, one of the things that happened during the 60s was there was a whole redefining of ourselves. The whole notion of Black power was that we should own stuff and control shit. We should control our neighborhoods. We should control and run the businesses in our neighborhoods. Well, all of that has been lost. For the most part, in most neighborhoods, Black people don't own a damn thing. But they're proud of their neighborhoods. So this sister, 9 degrees, not one steady paycheck. The president promised to save Black jobs. Now, Black jobs, he meant the lower paying jobs, but his policies have resulted in fresh pain for Black middle class. That's a myth. Not the pain, the Black is middle class. As the employment gaps widens. And look at this language, employment gap. What the hell is that? If we employed ourselves, there wouldn't be no employment gap. But at this point, the whole concept of self-employment, independence have been lost. So now we are just individuals who beg for jobs. We're individuals who have to beg white people to help us and save us. Give us a job so I can support myself. Why haven't we, in terms of education, right? Why haven't we availed the brilliant mind of Malcolm X into our youth? Why have we hidden this great strategist and intellectual from the minds of our youth? Because we don't educate us. We don't educate ourselves either. So We don't employ ourselves and we don't educate ourselves. Well, how intelligent is that?
America's problem is us.
America's problem.
The only reason she has a problem is she doesn't want us here. And every time you look at yourself, be you black, brown, red, or yellow, a so-called Negro, you represent a person who poses such a serious problem for America because you're not wanted. Once you face this as a fact, then you can start plotting a course that will make you appear intelligent instead of unintelligent.
And that's how we appear today, unintelligent. We don't control anything. So how is it that we can say that we are intelligent? We don't act like it. Like I say, we don't control anything. We don't even control the neighborhoods in which we live.
What you and I need to do is learn to forget our differences. When we come together, we don't come together as Baptists or Methodists. You don't catch hell because you're a Baptist, and you don't catch hell because you're a Methodist. You don't catch hell because you're a Methodist or a Baptist. You don't catch hell because you're a Democrat or a Republican.
You don't catch hell because you are a Jamaican or a so-called, FBA. You're right. You don't catch hell for any of that. But we come up with these crazy ways to divide ourselves now. Back in the day, under Black nationalism, there was a unity between Africans born here and Africans born in Africa, right? Now there's a whole conversation that is divisive between the Africans born in the Caribbean, Africans born in Africa, Africa born in Europe, and Africans born in America. In the 60s, we have to realize that Black people, by calling ourselves Black people and African Americans, we had an international mindset. Miseducation and the media have changed that. Now we are niggers. And we are niggers because we send out to nigger factories and to be educated. What intelligent person would send their children to their enemy and to be educated? On top of that, what intelligent person would take the name given to them by their slave master as the name for themselves? I mean, that is just that's something that is like, that's so ignorant until it's beyond explanation. We come up with the most crazy rationale. There was a professor, what's the guy's name? Eric Dyson. I called him, he is Dr. Nigger Dyson. He was so proud of the word nigger until this idiot said that he called himself a nigger because he wanted to show white people what a nigger could be. I'm like, well, hold up, we ain't got to prove a damn thing to these people. The whole mindset of thinking that we have to prove something to them is a problem because they're not going to ever accept you except as a second-class
citizen. You don't catch hell because you're a Mason or an elk. And you sure don't catch hell because you're an American, because if you was an American, you wouldn't catch no hell. You catch hell because you're a black man. You catch hell, all of us catch hell for the same reason. So we are all black people, so-called Negroes, second-class citizens, ex-slaves. You are nothing but an ex-slave. You don't like to be told that.
We like it now. We have a whole group of people who call themselves descendants of slaves. I mean, come on now. You take the most disastrous aspect of your history and call yourself a descendant of that. Why would anybody who know that, or I should say, anyone who knows their history would never be satisfied to accept the definition of themselves as a slave? That shows you how miseducated, as we are. We send our kids to school. Okay, white people send their kids to school. They graduate thinking that they own and run the world, that the world, it belongs unto them. We send our kids to the same school, well, not necessarily to the same schools because schools are not as segregated as they used to be. But no matter what the school is, the paradigms used to instruct are all white. So black people go to the same schools, but they come out calling themselves niggas. Why don't white people go to school and come out and call themselves crackers? Because they have a history where they learn, where they are taught, miseducated, to believe that they are masters of the world and that they are the standard of humanness.
What else are you? You are ex-slave. You didn't come here on the Mayflower. You came here in a slave ship, in chains, like a horse or a cow or a chicken. And you were brought here by the people who came here on the Mayflower. You were brought here by the so-called pilgrims or founding fathers. They were the ones who brought you here. We have a common enemy. We have this in common. We have a common oppressor, a common exploiter, and a common discriminator. So once we all realize that we have this common enemy, then we unite on the basis of what we have in common. And what we have foremost in common is that enemy, the white man.
And you must realize he is our enemy. And this is something that we have forgotten because the media, miseducation, and of course, in Jesus and God have instructed us not to hate. And as a matter of fact, one of my students tell me I waste too much energy and spend too much energy hating. And hating is stressful. I said, well, you must not have kids, because if you had, you must not have children, because if you had children, you can understand that the most stressful thing is love, because you love them to death, but children are woo. They are stressful. So I told them that like, you have adopted one of these metaphors that Europeans give us so that we don't be mad at them, because there's nothing more stressful than love. So don't tell me that hate is stressful. Hate is healthy. If somebody oppresses you, it's healthy to hate them. I have to repeat that. If somebody oppresses you, it's healthy to hate them. So how does all this tie into the meta-nature language? Okay. In this society, we have been indoctrinated to look at the world and understand the world by using white ideas. So I want to point out some of the problematic natures of some of the concepts that these people have given us to use to understand the world by. Okay, this is from Dr. Jacob Crothers out of Chicago. In sum, the Aryan worldview of antiquity, which includes the classical Greeks, is based upon a fundamental assumption of cosmic conflict, hostility between male and female principles, patricide, infanticide, alienation between God and man, warfare between man and nature, competition, strife amongst men, and slavery as a natural human institution. This Eurasian orientation, which is deeply embedded in the Aryan worldview, can be called fundamental alienation. This is a concept that we need to put into our brains. Such is the legacy of Western culture. Man must rework or dominate nature in order to survive and prosper. Thus, work is bossing others who do the necessary work. Now, look at this, right? When I was a youth, only governments had enough money to have a space program. Now we have individuals who have space programs. That means they got over a lot of money. They got money that is just, you can't even imagine how much money these folks have. But the people who work for them, who made them that money, a lot of them have to have welfare help to live and pay their bills. So how is that? That is this concept worked out in the present world. workers bossing others who do the really hard work. Or it's necessary work. Now, this is from Ainjide. This brings us yet to another, it's related and salient feature of the European Utamawazo. And of course, you know, this is some of, this is Ainjide's,
Terminology. Terminology.
Her work. And you said what?
I said her terminology and her work.
Yes, right, yes. It does not generate a genuine conceptualization of harmony. An authentic idea of harmony cannot be explained or understood in this worldview. Harmony is mistakenly projected as rational order, an order based on mechanicalism. Whoa.
Mechanism of control.
Mechanism of control. I don't know what's wrong.
It's okay.
Let me slow down some. Okay. So we can see this, right? The whole thing is based on control. They use words, ideas, and concepts to control us, to control how we think. In the philosophy of Rene Descartes, who further divides reality into mind and matter, the results were the greater fragmentation of the universe in which we perceive a multitude of separate objects and events. The mind, having been separated from the body, is given the task of controlling it. The human being is split into conscious will that opposes our involuntary instincts. The European experience, a mechanized universe constructed to deal with a world made of mutually hostile parts. This results, as we have been seeing, this result, as we have seen,
they're being alienated
from nature.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see how they're like, the Europeans do not have a practical definition of nature. To them, it's an object that appears outside that you can abuse at your will. I would like to offer you another definition of nature. Nature is our environment of shared experiences. That's the most practical, simple definition of nature that I could, I think I came up with that. I read so much until the time I'm not sure of things that I came up with or something that I have read. But I would like to know, what do you think about that definition?
Correct. It's clear. It's our shared thinking of existence, and existence is nature.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And most important, it's our environment of shared experiences. Now, because life is based on our shared experiences, it means that the environment that promotes that life is also life. So another way of saying it is, nature is the environment of life that enables life to have shared experiences. And the meta-nature language instructs us how important nature is. Okay, the present, I'm going to go into that a little later. It's on the way. Okay. The present habit of splitting science from technology is not a matter of real logic. It has more to do with an obsessive determination to split reality, and I added this, by way of words that are in practice inseparable from each other. So this is what they have taught us to do. They've taught us to use words to, and it's because of euphemisms that they have to use so that they can hide and obfuscate how they're going to attack and oppress you. So, and this quote is from Dr. Obinga's book. So let's take a look at some of these words. Okay. Could somebody tell me, what is artificial? Tell me something that exists that is artificial. Would anybody like to offer or I don't know if you have a chat or anything like that so that people can respond. But I would like to ask this question. Can anybody answer this? Tell me something that is artificial or unnatural.
Yeah, not in nature. Something created largely by men for profit.
Excuse me. What's the definition of nature?
Oh,
Our environment of shared experiences. So how
right.
could something not be in nature?
Oh,
if it's not in nature, you can't experience it. or no, if it's not in nature, you can't share that experience. Because I've had experiences that was real for me, but there's no way I would try to share those experiences because I experienced them in a dimension where it couldn't be shared with other people. So I repeat, what is artificial and what is unnatural?
It's a complex question. If everything exists in nature,
It's
there
not
are
a complex
things.
question. No, it's a very easy question. The complex part is in people trying to rationalize and use these words that don't have any meaning. That's the problem. Because we talk and use these words all the time. Artificial this, artificial intelligence. We use these words all the time. Listen to this now. Check this out. Nature didn't make these fruits. Watch how he used. Listen to the words he used.
Watch this video. Nature did not make these fruit. Check it out. Let me know what you think about this video.
Did you know that most of the fruits and vegetables we eat today are fake? Carrots were originally purple.
Now listen to what he said. They're fake. What does fake mean? They definitely are real. So you can't say that they're not real. So what's fake about them?
Something that is not in its original form that was changed.
Not in its original form. Well, hold up. You were born a baby. Now you're an adult. The baby was your original form. So as an adult, are you fake?
No, you're not fake. But
so I repeat, what is fake?
These are tough questions. Welcome to the toughest environment. And I'm
tough questions. They're only tough because you're trying to rationalize their use. If you just understand that the words don't mean a damn thing and drop them, that would be much easier than to try to rationalize. Let me tell you something. Any and everything you choose to believe and understand, your brain and your emotions will provide the rationale and the emotional content to explain it. Doesn't have to make sense, but this is how the brain works. So a lot of times, by not understanding that, in the rationalizations of our brains, without understanding that, hold up, I need to stop this because I'm fooling myself with words. So let's finish this.
The orange ones, that wasn't nature, that was politics. In the 17th century, Dutch farmers bred them in honor of the royal house of Orange. That's how we got the patriotic vegetables.
Okay, have to stop this again. If man makes something, how is that not of nature? What makes something that's man-made artificial or fake? Man is a part of nature. He can only be. So if man is a part of nature, how can he do something outside of nature? Remember, nature is our environment of shared experiences.
Bananas used to be full of seeds, big, hard ones. Wild bananas were almost inedible. Tough skin, barely any fruit, giant seeds inside. Today's banana is a genetically modified hybrid created by humans. Watermelons used to be pale and mostly white inside. They were sour, dry, and looked more like cucumbers than dessert. The juicy red watermelon we know now, that took centuries of breeding. Peaches were the side.
I'm happy it did because I absolutely love watermelon. Peaches, I love peaches. The only thing in the U.S., I haven't had peaches, good peaches, in a very long time. The last time I had some decent peaches was when some people I knew on the other side of town had a garden, and they had some trees, and their peaches were the sweetest, best peaches I had in years. Why? What we don't understand is, like, all of us we are vegans, vegetarians, and all these things. The problem is this. The problem is we live in a society where food is grown to make a profit. Food is not grown to nourish you. Food is grown to make a profit. So what these evil folks have done is, like, they have figured out how to make chemicals to imitate the real things that we used to eat. Now, a lot of people say, well, yes, I'm avoiding chemicals because that's unhealthy. Well, not necessarily. Why? The body is an amazing thing. It can get nourishment from almost anything you consume. What will start to happen, though, is that it will start to change us as humans. Not going to kill us, not going to kill all of us, because, of course, any type of change like that, there will be some people who die. But however, what will happen is they will change us as humans. And like that's the problem. It's not so much that these foods are unhealthy.
Of cherries, mostly pit, barely any flesh. Now they're 16 times bigger and 27 times sweeter than their wild ancestors. Corn started as thin grass with maybe 5 to 10 kernels, no golden cobs. Everything you know is corn. Humans grew that from scratch over thousands of years. And apples, most wild apples, were bitter, sour, and toxic to animals. The sweet, shiny apples we love today are pure human invention. What you eat every day isn't a gift from nature. It's a mix of selective breeding, mutation, and marketing.
Everybody must watch this.
And plus, that's a very interesting word, another word in there also, mutation. We take that word as meaning bad. Mutation just means change. It's a certain type of change. It's not necessarily evil or bad. But these are words that they have taught us to use that really don't have any meaning. They are these words are used for the emotional content. If something is not natural, then we have a certain emotional response to that. If something is artificial, we have a certain emotional response to that. But so this is how they use words to control us and how we join in it, because we don't question these white people ideas and concepts. What we do is we like take their ideas and concepts, and then we like to make a black spin on it. So the other concept, integration. Integration has been one of the most evil concepts that we have embraced. For us, this is what integration means. Integration means that you let other people integrate into your neighborhood as business owners, not as neighbors, as business owners. But you cannot do the same thing. Take your business and go to an Arab neighborhood, go to a white neighborhood. They won't be flocking to your store like we have to flock to their stores, because they love each other. The Arabs came here, and I watched this in Detroit. They worked in the factories here. They stayed 2 and 3 families in a house, and they saved their monies in groups, and they bought black businesses. They bought so that now in Detroit, if you want your car fixed, you got to go to Arabs. If you want gas, you got to go to Arabs. If you want grocery stores, you got to go to Arabs. If you want your hair done, you got to go to Koreans. We don't control nothing. Okay. Now, spirituality. This has become a very important part of how Black people understand things. In the 60s, I'm gonna tell you, spirituality wasn't even a concept.
Wow.
Nobody,
Say that again, sir. Say that
nobody was
again.
concerned about spirituality. They was concerned about Black nationalism, Pan-Africanism, and how to kick this white boy's butt. That's why spirituality has become so important. During the 60s, Black people had a mass consciousnness that scared the shit out of white people. They started attacking that. The whole COINTEL program was a program initiated by the government to destroy Black nationalism, not only as a function, but as a concept. Well, it has succeeded because now most of us focus on spirituality, and we use this word and we feel deep. This is spiritual. I asked all of my spiritual friends one thing: how do you do something spiritually? Can anybody answer that one? How do you do something spiritually? So you're not gonna attempt it this time, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm not one of them. So I'm listening.
Oh, okay, I see. This is a very dangerous concept because we have embraced it so thoroughly without realizing this. Spirituality without revolution is spookism. If you're gonna, if you want to practice spirituality, you better be cutting some roots or things like that to fight, to give you the necessary spirit and energy to fight. We're doing it because we want to be more in line with some abstractions, God or some other type of abstraction. We have a physical job that must be done. We cannot get that job done by practicing spirituality. It's not going to ever happen. Then we have this concept of plant-based. What the hell? Plant-based? What the hell? Okay, well, most of the animals we eat plants. And of course, my vegetarian friends tell me, and let me say this, I was a vegetarian for over 20 years. But I woke up because of experiences. I saw that a lot of my friends who were vegetarian, because Black restaurants served meat, they were going out to support the white folks and their vegetarian and vegan restaurants. And to me, it was like, but hold up. That makes you not support Black businesses. So even when I was a vegetarian, I would find ways, I would find something that I could eat from a Black restaurant, because to me, it was more important to support them than me being a perfect individual. I was more concerned with the benefit of our neighborhoods. We need stores and businesses that we own and operate and run. So my friends tell me that I don't eat the animals. I just skip them and I eat the grass. And I tell them, I said, hold up, you got to realize that when that grass passes through them animals, they get some more energy, a different type of energy that can help you. So it's not a point of avoiding eating meat. The problem is, without correcting the corporate ran food industry, nothing's going to change. That's the problem. They have so much money and they are so powerful until they will always be able to have an advantage over those who are vegans and vegetarians. Another concept that they've given us is democracy. This has to be one of the most corrupt concepts that we have ever embraced. Democracy under white supremacy means that white people run shit. Show me any democracy that we have that is not white orientated.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, niggas, I like to say this. People think that computers and technologies is the white man's greatest invention. No, niggers. Niggers are the white man's greatest invention. And unless we have become so ignorant until we think that we invented the word nigger.
Wow.
So these next two, I'm going to leave them. Feminism. Well, I have to say something about this. Feminism, right? Dr. Watkins from Howard University, Valencia Watkins, defined feminism as white supremacy and drag. When I was in school, I used to use that term. It would screw the professors up because they'd never heard or conceptualized anything like that. And it made them stop and think. And I would explain. I've studied the history of the women movement in America. Anybody who does that will see that them white women, Stanton and all them other ones, Anthony, they were just as racist as the men were. Go back and examine the relationship they had with folks like Ida B. Wells, and you will see that they were just as racist as as the men were. Feminism is a concept made up of white women because they felt that they were not getting a share of the loot that white men had got because of the enslavement. So they want their share. So that's what feminism is all about. If you destroy white supremacy, there would be no need for feminism. And these are things that we just don't understand. Why? Because we don't listen to our own intellectuals. We let white people think for us.
Everybody must watch this.
Okay. sa.neter. Now, one of the most important concepts for all humans is to understand how everything came about. The Europeans give us concepts and ideas that are either fantasy or we can't understand. They give us a religious understanding, which anybody who think God made shit is really an idiot. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. First off, where the hell does he come from? Where does this God come from? He just appeared. For what and why? So we come up with these crazy concepts. Then we have science. Well, no matter what we say, the majority of us don't have the background to understand the science in detail. The physicists and astrophysicists and all this stuff who come up with these theories of how everything came into being are not practical word uses that we can use to understand shit. They can use that to have a conversation amongst themselves, but they can't conversate with us because most of them use concepts and ideas that they can't break down enough to make them practical, to make them a practical idea for the common person to use. In Kemet, all of their most deepest concepts, because they represent concepts in nature, you can see them and understand them in a much more plain way. In astrophysics, you have to understand mathematics. In Kemet, you might have to understand mathematics to see how everything came into being. This is one of the formulas that expresses how everything came into being based upon a Kemetic text. Now, this is not the full text, and if I did that, it would take too much time to explain all these concepts and symbols. And there's a lot more things I'm trying to, get through here. Okay, so I'm going to say that in Kemet, all the ways in which things can come into being are expressed. So they do have a concept where a nature makes things. But one of the initial concepts is so advanced until they don't even use the concept of God or what? The Most High, and what's the other one that we love? The Creator. So we use these terms as if they are more correct terms than the concept of God. However, the Most High, we use it the same way as we use God. So the only thing we have did is change the term, but we still think that way. So this is another way. In Kemet, they have a process that explains how everything came into being. A process. So this is one of these statements in this process. It's I Keperu Keper Keperu. You say, well, that's just saying stuff about Keper. Yes, it is. Keper is the concept of transformation. So this says, I transformed as the process of transformation. This process of transformation, let me do this. This will make it a little bit helpful. Okay. This first one is Keper E. This Keper is followed by the seated man with the curved beard. This is the first person subject pronoun. So this translates as I transform. What did I transform as? I transform as Keper. Keper is here represents a intransitive verb, and that means that the energy itself is not transferred to any another object. So this is existence. I transform as existence, but this existence is a process itself because Keper represents a process. This process becomes the Keperu. Now, the Keperu with this man, standing man here, and these three strokes behind it are plural strokes, represents everything, the forms of nature. But by it being Keper, these forms are also transformations. So these forms, all of us are in a state of transformation. So some of my friends like to try to correct me and they say, yes, we're in a process of transforming from physical beings to spiritual beings. I have to tell them, no, that's not true. You're in the process of transforming from a baby into from a baby into an old person so you can die. That's the system of process, or that's the system of transformation we are involved in. You change, you transform as you go through life. And eventually that transformation transforms you out of life into a whole nother area of existence. But this is a practical expression. Anyone can understand and see this. And the concept of consubstantiation is very important in African philosophical systems. This is expressed right here. Everything is an expression of Keper. Keper is transformation. So this is just some of the more practical ways that the meta-nature language teaches you to organize and understand and engage the world around you. But you can see that these are not separate entities. The way in which Europeans divide things up, fragmented this and fragmented that, is not expressed in these type of philosophical expressions. So I transform as the process that becomes everything. That's what this statement says right here. Now, this first person, I, who is speaking, is this concept, Neberger. And this says Jed, Medu, Jed. Neberger, right. Now, if there are some students around, would somebody look up the word in their dictionary of Neberger and tell me what the dictionary says it means?
Will do. Go on, I'll catch up.
Okay.
I gotta get the
okay. The another unique thing about the meta-nature language is that they have a way of associating concepts that should be associated by using the same phonetic expression. I know you said, what? That didn't make what does that mean? It means this. This is an example of it. Here we have the word shadi. These three letters, these three symbols represent the word shadi. And these three symbols also represent the word shadi. The only difference is the determinative at the end of the word to define what the word really means. So this form of shadi means to suckle. It has a picture of a breast. This form, this shadi, with the seated man to his mouth, means to read. But what it does is it shows you something that is very important, and that is reading is a way to nourish your mind. The brain breaks down concepts and words the same way that your intestines break down nourishment in the food that you consume. We tend to think. Okay, go ahead.
The term that they gave us, and we're not going to like the word Lord, but it's Lord of all.
It's what?
Right? It's they use these words because the Europeans added words, but net for Lord, and of course, the preposition to, and entirety.
Yes.
Lord,
It's
right?
entirety, right?
The head of entirety.
They translate the whole thing basically as the Lord of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is that? What does that mean? But the one who possesses things to its limit. That gives you more understanding of something that is infinite.
Yes.
Well, not so much infinite, but it has. Let's see. Oh, it contains all of its space. This is more a definition of consciousness than it is anything else. But it's so difficult to understand until they just said, well, hell, we don't know what this is, so let's call it master of the universe.
Right.
That doesn't mean nothing. But the one who possesses to its limit, that's your consciousness. That's how, that represents how you engage in the world. So shadi is one of these words. But what this really does is like this language tends to reorientate your thinking, and it ties your understanding of things back into nature. Now, this is something that's very important. For oppressed people, it's more important to understand how words function than the meaning of a word. I'm going to say that again. For oppressed people, it's more important to understand how the word functions than the meaning of the words. If we understood that, we would understand the majority of the words we use function to keep us living under the myths of white supremacy. So there's another meta-nature concept that is receiving a lot of attention, and that's the concept of the mind. People will talk for days about how deep Maat is and what it means. At one ACAT conference, I had a young man equate Maat with nonviolence. I almost fell out my seat. I said, well, obviously he didn't take the understanding of Maat from the text. When you examine Maat in the text, you will see that whenever Maat fell out of order, and Isfet, which is Isfet represents disorder, chaos. Whenever it ruled, they waged warfare to reestablish Ma'at. We got people talking about establishing Ma'at within Isfet. That's impossible. You have to destroy Isfet, and Ma'at cannot coexist. And that's something we don't understand, because we have been taught to divide things so spiritually until we think that I can spiritually engage the concept of Ma'at, but still live under white supremacy. You are fooling yourself. So I would like to offer us a more broader understanding of what Ma'at is based on nature. All about Kemet, what we have to understand is this. All Kemetic philosophical ideas can be rendered down into concepts in nature. So let's take a look at this.
am unaware of any Kemetic texts that provide an account of how the people of Kemet came up with their conceptualization of the concept of Maat. The people of Kemet were keen observers of Mother Nature. It is possible that they used animal behavior to model their understanding of how Maat should function. I would like to examine the behaviors of insects, birds, and fish to suggest that our ancestors observed animal behavior in nature when they structured how Maat would function in their society. The following definition of Maat is derived from observing the alterations in a species' behavior when operating within the framework of Maat. This definition also aligns with how Maat was choreographed to function in the society of Kemet. Maat is a system of choreographed repetitive behaviors that species use to align their actions to enable them to function in a cooperative, unified, beneficial, and harmonious manner. Species use this choreographed repetitive behavior as an offensive force, protection, and feeding. Species functioning under Maat exhibit a pleasing aesthetic. Penguins live in extremely cold weather. Penguins use Maat choreographed repetitive behaviors to huddle together to use their collective body heat to heat themselves and the eggs they carry. Their collective body heat is more intense in the middle of the huddle. Their behavior is choreographed to rotate penguins from the exterior cooler sections of their huddle toward the middle, the warmest sections of their collective heat, and to move those in the warm center sections to the exterior. Fish and birds employ Maat choreographed repetitive behaviors to confuse predators and to feed. Striped catfish employ Maat choreographed repetitive behaviors for protection and to feed.
Swimming in a group is a collaborative effort. The more catfish in a group, the better the chances of survival. The reason why striped eel catfish swim together is to protect themselves from predators and increase their chances of survival. Swimming in a group also makes hunting for food more efficient by stirring up the sand and seafloor.
This Maatian choreographed behavior is based on collective thinking.
It demonstrates the power of unified collective actions.
Now this one is real interesting. Look how all these fish move as a unit to avoid these sharks. I find that so interesting. So I think you'll be able to tell from this that I spent a lot of time looking at nature shows. Now, you look at nature shows also, except my nature shows, I get examples of same behaviors. You look at nature shows and animals you examine are insane. All these shows and shit, these they teach you insane, human actions and behaviors.
Starlings using Maat choreographed complementary behaviors to confuse a falcon. Species functioning under Maat exhibit a pleasing aesthetic. And
Okay, that's a little glitch I got fixed.
ants using Maat behavior to attack a hornet nest. Matating choreographed repetitive behavior is based on a species' love and confidence in themselves.
We have lost that. Our love and confidence is in white people, not ourselves. Otherwise, we would not depend upon white people for so much things like employing us and providing food for us.
Species function under Maat to accomplish what appear to be impossible tasks. It demonstrates the beauty and power of behaviors based on collective thought. Species functioning under Maat exhibit a pleasing aesthetic. Egyptologist Dr. Theophilo Benga, in his book Icons of Maat, produces a chart of Maat to illustrate how the people of Kemet choreographed various aspects of human interactions, allowing them to function and interact in a complementary manner. Maat is concerned with all the spheres of reality. There are 5 realities: the divine or the sacred world, the cosmos or the universe, the state or the governance, the society or the human community, and humanity, the human being or family. Each of these realities has 5 dimensions of significance: religious, cosmic, political, social, and anthropological.
You have to change that too.
With this type of philosophy and spirituality where everything is interrelated, Egyptian people built a civilization connected to the sacred world, to the entire cosmos, to their temporal and spiritual leaders, and to afterlife, and to Ankh life, Uja prosperity, Autab joy, Nefaru beauty, Marut love, Hotep peace, Senab health, Essay protection, Jidet durability, was power, Jet Nihei forever and ever. Temporal and spiritual leaders return to afterlife.
By these stars, we
Have to complement each other. In the Omu's worldview, these systems are structured to function as standalone.
The Ayamu or the Amu are a word that a lot of us have adopted from the Nile Valley, and the Amu represents the foreigners from the north who were coming into the Nile Valley. What we find is that, like, periodically, or I should say that, like, all through the history of Kemet, they had a problem with these foreigners coming in from the north, and they were all, when these foreigners came in, they let them in as long as they wasn't causing too much trouble. When they started to cause trouble and when they started to disrupt the systems of Maat, the people of Kemet would wage warfare to kick out these foreigners. So that's who the Ayamu is.
I'm going to ask you a quick question. So a lot of these terms now, because it's really great that we can have elders from a different generation, but what we're hearing now is from temple people and shrine people, this definition of Maat, which seems to be this peaceful, how can I say, actually elite, to me, status of just being good. And it has nothing to do with warfare. And if you read the Kings in that land, they use Maat to wage warfare against.
Yes.
But now it's peaceful, and all you gotta anything that's that they deem that is, what do you call it, criticism. You're not being in Maat.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
But that's because, once again, it's the same way that we use the concepts of the Most High and what? The Creator. We change terms, but we use them the same way. So now we have adopted Maat, but we use and understand it in a Christian way. But they don't understand that. Why? Because they're not looking at Maat, and they don't study Africa to use ideas and concepts from African languages.
But
So,
they say they do.
huh?
This is the problem. They're on social media, on YouTube, right? And
Yes.
they claim they make themselves the experts. So they have misused Hotep, and
Yes.
they misuse Ma'at,
Yes.
right? They use this word spirituality, and they have all these other funny terms that don't mean nothing.
Very few of these people translate the text. Another problem is we tend to take after the people who we learn from. A lot of these youngsters have been followers of folks like York. What's the brother in New York?
Raul Nefer.
Samaj, Raul Nefer, and all of these people, none of them can translate the text. So
Well, we have students of them now. Like we have a brother on the chat. He's pretty good.
Remember is what I said. We tend to take after the people who we learn from. So what I'm saying is that, like, one reason a lot of these folks are into this temples and spirituality, all this stuff, because the people who introduced them to these concepts and ideas, that's who they were. I'm the same way. I was introduced by way of Kemet and the Medu text by Dr. Ben, Moot, and Obenga.
Moot Ricketti. They don't know Moot is Moot Ricketti. Yeah.
That's true, right. We just call them Moot because you're right. Okay, yes. But so those three, they were black nationalists. They were activists. So they were not temple people, you know. So, but check my word. Ask these people who run these different organizations where they come from, who their teachers were, and they would tell you that, like, hey, you know, most of them, like I say, learn from people who did not know the text. But listen, if I don't know how to add, right, I could tell you 1 and 1 is 6, and I could give you rationale that you learn to repeat, even though it's wrong. But this is all that's going on. We repeat things that people have given us that are wrong, but hell, if we can't examine the text, we don't know that. Or you can examine the text, but once again, you have to realize that anything you believe will influence what you know, will influence what you come to know. So they have, they already have a foundation in mysticism and metaphysics and all this other stuff, so that when they interpret the text, they are using a lot of the same, you know, understanding to try to understand the information that they are engaging with in terms of Kemet. Kemet, I tell people all the time, there's no spirituality in Kemet, not even a concept of spirituality.
Can you say that again? I missed that.
There's no spirituality in Kemet. There's no concept of spirituality in Kemet. When you study this language, the philosophy takes you back to nature, not spirit. The philosophical expressions in Kemet all have their resolution in nature, not metaphysics. But hey, if you're trained as a metaphysician, and let me say something about that also. I was a metaphysician. My introduction to Kemet was by way of biofeedback, transcendental meditation, and yoga. What happened? I met Dr. Ben.
Okay.
What I learned from Dr. Ben was this. He said, listen, young man, check out their references. He said, always check out a person's references. As a matter of fact, he told us, don't believe what I say, check out my references. So me and my group, that's what we did. We basically read all of Dr. Ben's references, all of these crazy, what they used to call them, antiquarian scholars, all these crazy folks, Church Word, Massey,
the Lubitz, don't forget about him.
I read all of them because, these were Dr. Ben references, but it's by doing this, Dr. Ben enabled us to have access to the information that white people use to formulate their society. Interestingly, Dr. Clark says that when he met Arthur Schomburg, he said he was 19 years old and he walked up to Arthur Schomburg, and I'm sure that you have heard this more than I have.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that Arthur Schomburg told him that the first thing you have to do is read European history because you have to understand your enemy. So this is what Dr. Ben enabled us to do by reading his reference work. He gave us the means to have access to the intellectual foundation of Western society. And a lot of us have not read these works.
Age protection, Jidet durability, was power. Jet Nihe forever and ever.
Okay. So
I would say this is really interesting.
Oh, well, let me.
The reward of working with Dr. John Henry Clark my reward was Dr. John Henry Clark, working with Dr. Leonard Jeffries, gave me a job there for 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he looked at himself, not that I could ever be Dr. John Henry Clark, but he looked at, there are useful people, so we're going to tuck them away. So he took me away for 5 years, and that was very useful because I was his inside man, and that was my job. But what the problem is, and wait, first of all, let me say this. Hey, family, I keep putting up Baba Bonotchi's Cash App. Baba Bonotchi, do you have a PayPal? Because some people don't have a PayPal. Do you have that I could put in? If you don't, I am putting up your Cash App. Family, I hope you're enjoying this show. You're looking at someone from another generation. I would like to say the best generation, because the generation now is that we have been totally misdirected. So this generation were Black nationalists, Pan-Africanists, right? This generation organized to fight the oppressor, right? And in that, they look for tools. And so some of them began to speak African languages. Some of them left and never returned. Some of them were unfortunately became political prisoners. And some of them used other languages like the Medu that we're going on. So if you thought today that people were just going to be reading text without any connection to nature, to our experiences and our reality, if you thought that it was going to be some shrine babble, some temple babble, I'm sorry, you are mistaken. And Baba Bonotchi, the problem is it is Baba Bonotchi, Dr. Richetti, and New York, you have access to Infodici, right? And there's some others that are out there. I think Patasika Saw. You're looking at people who are 70-something years older, 70-something years of age, seen a lot of things in their life, and have taught and struggled, and were taught. Like Baba Bonotchi is not here talking to you just to be talking. What he learned in the way he chooses his words is to be under the foot, and I'm being light about it, of Dr. Theophilo Benga and Dr. Ben. And Moot Richetti was a little sweeter. but you don't have any idea to be having a conversation with Dr. Theophilo Benga. He has no time for foolishness, right? Yes, he gives great talks, but if you choose to be a student, right, and he was a student of Diop, and Diop punished him to be right, right? You have no idea. You're looking at a generation that is in the middle of another one of our great generations. And this stuff that we see on YouTube, most of the stuff is just not useful because it's about building brands and building uh, organizations just to be building them. It's not about real learning. So I have Baba Bonotchi, and I say all that to say, man, support Baba Bonotchi, right? Support Mukwetti, right? I mean, they have a school. He hasn't even gotten to that where he teaches miseducation, right? So you could waste your time, and this is Brother Reggie. You could waste your time meditating, choosing what colors you want to wear on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, based on nature, uh, or you can choose burning incense around a tekanu, or you can learn miseducation. And if you learn miseducation, it will help you think differently about nature. Okay, Baba, sorry about that, but I got to get hard on my people so that they can support. I apologize. When people say I'm the bad guy, they say I treat you. They say, watch this, Baba. They said that I treated you badly. I treat you badly, Baba. Man, Baba will kick me in my face. Right? You see, that's the thing about it. These people are not meek, by the way. Right? These are time-tested warriors. Me treating Baba, he would never talk to me again, and I better walk the other way if he saw me. So I don't know what y'all talking about. I treated a dear elder. Watch this, Baba. A dear elder badly. I could never do that. I could never. It's not that I couldn't. It would be very painful for me if I did. They think that you the sweet old. Wait, let me put you on a big screen. They think that you the sweet old Maat temple person. Let me put you on. No, he came out of the inner streets, right? And he got a name in the streets, but he has a great name in our community. And so imagine me saying something disrespectful to you and think I could just walk around and people are saying I treated the dear elder badly. I'll let you continue. I'm sorry about that. Well, oh wait. Somehow you disappeared. Okay. I gotta put the order back in that I had. Sorry. You have also one of your students, Bak Ramen, and I don't know his last name, but he might have. You sent him the link, but let me just try to get you back. Okay. So. Okay, continue, Baba. Sorry about that. Yo, support Baba Bonotchi. Okay, sorry about that. I'm gonna try to put it back in. Okay, so let me try to put this back in. I know you're playing something. I just got Okay, Baba, we can't hear you. For some reason, we can't hear you. Baba, can you hear me? We can't hear you if you're talking. Okay, so you're working on something because we can't hear you for some reason. can see you, but we can't hear. For some reason, we can't hear any sound. Okay, let's try this. 1 second. It says the mic isn't connected. It says your mic is not connected. So on the side of it, you should try to reconnect the mic. No, I see that he's muted, but that's because the mic is not connected. So Baba, what you can do is I'll resend you the link, or you can look in your email, come out and come back in.
Am I
Yeah,
straight
we can.
now? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. It took me a minute to find it. Okay, let me get back to the presentation. Now that you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Finish this up. Okay, I'm just about there. Give me a second. Here we go. Okay, let me finish this out. Some little important part that deals with this chart I want you to see. Okay, a technical point in Nana of being a chart must be noted, and that is
a technical point in Dr. Abinda's chart must be noted because it serves to illustrate the interconnectedness of all these concepts. The red and green lines that are used to separate the various components in this chart are invisible lines, which means that these divisions are social, emotional, and psychological structures rather than actual physical divisions. Pan-Africanism and Black nationalism are ways of knowing and engaging reality based on Maat, choreographed, cooperative, beneficial, and harmonious behaviors. An example is the Pan-African Organization of Marcus Garvey, the UNIA.
He began to formulate a revolutionary social movement. In 1914, he founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, dedicated to uniting all the Black people throughout the world.
Marcus Garvey stated that Black people should control all aspects of Black people's lives.
We want to unite the liberation of this country. We want every people to work for one common object, that of building a nation on the own of the great continent of Africa, for the purpose of bettering our industrial, commercial, educational, social, and political conditions.
Under the UNIA.
And would be an inspiration both to the anti-colonial movement and Black nationalist leaders throughout the remainder of the century.
This is a piece from a larger piece I'm doing on Maat, where I am examining texts from 3 different sources to give a better understanding of Maat based upon the text. These texts deal with warfare because warfare was a major means that the people of Kemet used to establish Maat, and it's something that we don't even conceptualize. So I'm doing this to give people a larger understanding of Maat and how Maat functions. What I've also shown is that, like, any species that is not miseducated knows how to work under Maat, and it's only us, because we have become so miseducated until we don't understand that this miseducation is what is really keeping us apart. When we were less miseducated, like during the time of Garvey, we can see how Garvey's his message appealed to almost every Black person because they could see it and understand it. But now, because of miseducation, we have become more confused about who the enemy is. And for the most part, we no longer understand who the enemy is. Okay. So now this is part one of this presentation. I don't know, should I start part two? I would like to have some discussion about some of the information that was presented here.
Okay, so what I will do is I will open up the lines, and you don't have to be stressed. We can, you or Baba, we can always have you come back, right? So, uh, and and that will also give an opportunity for more people to uh, support you. So I'm gonna open up the lines. Uh, so you are invited.
Okay. Now I'm gonna give you a preview. Uh, in part two, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use some meta text, and I'm gonna show you how, in order to understand Kemet, you have to understand these concepts: complementary, duality, and aspect. Why? Because Kemet thought in a dual manner. They always saw things in a dual way. The unseen, seen, male, female, these are concepts that they constantly intertwine. So there is a duality that we have to understand when you deal with Kemet. Also, in terms of the nature rule, what are they? The nature rules are principles that we use to understand and engage in the world by. Now, these natures we have not looked at them correctly. I'm going to use Het Hor, her, to illustrate how all of these nature rules, especially the feminine nature rule, are all aspects of each other. Christianity and Islam and all these crazy spirituality folks don't quite understand how the nature rule function or really what they are. I've heard some crazy stuff with folks trying to explain what the natures are. Why? Because they're not using the text. All of the examples come from their own conceptualization of hearing things that have been told to them, but they really haven't examined the text to get in there to really show you how they function. So what I'm going to do in part two is to illustrate.
But Baba, they say they do. But Baba, they come on these shows and actually say they do. That's the thing that bothers
They
me.
believe they do. If you haven't, they believe they do. I've talked to a lot of these folks. They believe it. Anything you choose to believe, your mind will rationalize it. So I hear a whole bunch of rationalizations, but I've studied the text enough so that I can generally point out to them the flaws in the way that they have conceptualized this idea. But like I say, I really want to save this for part two because it gets a little lengthy. And, you don't know what's been communicated until you get a response. So I would like to have a conversation because I would like to know how some of the ideas and concepts I have expressed have been received and understood or not, or if they have been understood or not.
Okay. We do have I think one of your students, Bakra Min, on, and he hasn't spoken, but please do this, and then I will, I'm going to put in the invite again.
Okay.
Okay. We're waiting.
I'm waiting.
No, I'm waiting. No, I'm going to let you do the preview, and then I'm going to go into the chat and try to bring out some people. I see Pan-African James is in here. Suntan is in here.
The preview, I've just given it. And that is what's on the screen. I'm going to explain.
Right. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I see Patah Seeker from Boston in, and I don't think you've met him.
So is there some conversation?
No, I see people being present, but I don't see them hitting the link.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. But you said that you was going to show something?
Well, no. No. I wanted to have a conversation, but if nobody's want to talk, then I guess.
Okay, but Ra, he's I think you invited him, so he's one of your students. So let's hear from him. See if I can unmute his mic. Okay, and I have Patasika Saw. Patasika Saw is here, and so greetings, good brother, another elder, Patasika Saw. I don't know if you've ever met Baba Bonotchi, but he is one of our great meta-nature teachers, instructors. So do you have some comments? Brother Patah, you have any comments? Yeah, we see you, we just don't hear you.
Okay. Yep, we see. He looks familiar. I don't know if I've ever met him, but he does look familiar.
Oh, he's he is in Boston.
Okay.
And he did the Temple of Asphalta, right? I don't know if you know the work about Asphalta. He did the tomb room, and he's
from Chicago,
Boston.
No. I thought the person who named was Chicago, the artist.
Okay, well, he is a sesh, and he did the tomb room of Asphalta. So, Brother Patah, do you have anything to say? Peace to you.
Yes, dua. Para tahu pemahat, ongkos sejid, ongkos dia selalu berfikir pada guru, mati to migrate to Elder Seba. It's an honor to be in your presence.
Well, that's it.
I'd like to give.
That's the part.
I see. I'm sorry. I'm having a delay. There's a delay on my audio.
Oh, okay.
That's we can hear you. I think you got YouTube open.
Ignore it.
But we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. No. Someone told me that there was a Seba, an elder, that was relating to the Medu and to. So this is my first time meeting you.
Okay.
And I'm honored to be in your presence.
No problem. Thank you very much.
And I still don't know what the platform, what is the message of the platform of the Medu that you're displaying or disseminating.
What is the message? The title I used was Meta-nature in support of Black nationalism. So what I've done throughout the presentation is to give some examples of Black nationalism and to use the meta-nature to demonstrate some of the ways that we don't think that we need to think in terms of understanding how the world works. The meta-nature language enabled us to have other practical ways of understanding and engaging the world that are not based on spirituality or some metaphysics. These are very practical ways of looking at the world. Sometimes our use of spirituality and metaphysics are so impractical until they do not relate to Kemet in any way. In Kemet, what you find is the people were very practical thinking. They were not metaphysical or spiritual thinkers. What I've tried to do is give you a more practical understanding of some of the concepts that are in Kemetic.
Okay, so this is the teaching tutorial. You're instructing in a teacher's level for the layman. This is a layman's broadcast.
I wouldn't quite describe it that way, but I can see why you would.
Yeah, well, I'm from Tesha Pera. I'm from the Holy House of Ra, and in relationship to what you're saying is how we can break the chains of the Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of ancient humanity and to regain our divine birthright through the Medu.
Now, see, that would be, for me, that'd be a bit of a problem because divine birthright, I don't even know what it means. If somebody told me, I would say, well, hell, what the divine? What does divine mean?
Well, that divine birthright would have to relate to our divine birthright. Our divine birthright, first of all, is immortality.
What does divine mean?
Divine means
I'm not trying to say that I don't understand these concepts and words. So
I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
It's based upon the origins of existence and the creation and the development of the universe. You can't express or comprehend the Medu unless you comprehend the concept of self-creation. And once you can comprehend the concept of self-creation, then we can answer the age-old questions. This way, you're not only dealing on the terrestrial plane and on an earthly level, but we can relate to and extrapolate and to comprehend who am I, where do I come from, why am I here, and where am I going? These are the age-old questions that the Europeans came down during the great golden age of Uncle Set, which is Pisces, in which the portal opened up. And after the last catastrophe of the shifting of the phenomenon of precession,
a portal
and the waves came in.
A portal opened up.
A portal within the phenomenon of precession.
Oh my God. Okay. That's a mouthful.
So what I'm trying to relate it astronomically, I'm trying to relate it and triangulate it so that you can comprehend what I'm saying scientifically, math with sacred science, with our divine math, and our cultural spirituality. That's the only way that you can.
Your words themselves are a problem for me, but hey, I asked for a discussion, so I can't complain.
No, I'm saying I'm not trying to disrupt your conversation or anything. I'm just trying to.
I don't, I ask for questions. I don't look at it as a disruption.
Oh,
we ask for questions.
Okay.
You have to you accept what you get. So I repeat, I ask for questions. So you're not.
Yeah. Well, if you ask me a question on a terrestrial plane, I obviously have to polarize it as above, so below. So if you ask me something about atomic energy, first I have to embrace subatomic energy, go into the primordial ocean, and to extract the primordial field forces.
You see, this is the problem. The meta-nature and the Kemetic is not that complicated. I'm telling you, I've studied the text for many years. None of that stuff is there. You're making it too complicated.
It's not there. Of course it's there. What do you mean it's not there? It's in the pyramid text. It's in the coffin text. It's in the Shabaka stone. What do you mean show you? Hey, I don't have no PowerPoints for you. I can show you. I can show you with irrefutable evidence.
Hold up. I'm giving part 2, right? At part 2, come with your evidence. Show me where this is in the pyramid text. And
I can produce it. I can produce it in a scholarship level, but I'm not a scholar. I wouldn't even insult myself to call myself a scholar, because to say that I'm a scholar.
I'm not saying that. I never accused you of that. I'm not saying that. I don't want you to present it as a scholar. I just say present it any way you want to. I said the next time I'm doing part 2. Bring your information in. You don't have to do a scholar.
Okay.
Just bring.
Well, I'll fall back then. Well, I'll fall back and let you continue with your dialogue.
Yeah. So let me wait. Hold on. So let me. Okay. So Patasika, you might be saying the same thing, but different words.
No. Don't even pull that. No, that's not true. We're not saying the same thing with different words. Now, I know what I'm saying, and I can hear, and I know what he's saying, and we're not saying the same thing. So don't even play it off. Don't even.
Okay, I'm saying, okay, so
Patasika, you are giving it a veneer that does not fit. I'm not doing it.
Okay, so what I would say is, okay, Patasika, the word divine is one of the problems that he has.
Okay, all right. The word divine. The word divine is the Nefer symbol that they use. Okay. Now the Nefer symbol, huh?
People have translated like that. There's no word for divine in Kemet. You translate that as divine because you don't read the text. You
saying I don't read the text?
You have taken what other. Excuse me. I take that back. Assume that you don't read the text because most people I know that can read the text have read enough to understand that words like divine and God does not nowhere fit.
I was not even going to break it down that way. I was going to break it down into the concept of self-creation so that you could get, so I can break it down so you can see where I'm exactly coming from.
I do. I see exactly where you're coming from. I don't.
Yeah.
Agree.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Okay. So what is the known name of Medu? In Medu, what is the name that describes the Most High?
There is no Most High.
Of course there is.
No, it's not.
Of course there is.
I gave a presentation. I gave a presentation where I use words to describe how everything came into being that does not include
the Most High.
Did you? What I
it's on the Dream Stellar.
You didn't
so
let me finish. You did not let me finish. I said that I just gave a presentation describing how the people of Kemet used the concept how everything came into being that did not include the Creator. I just showed that as a concept. Now maybe
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Exactly.
I didn't see it. I apologize. I didn't see that.
That's
but what I do know,
so that
I didn't see it.
If you saw it, you would see that I give an example of how the people use creation concept with no creator, no Most High.
Yes, there is.
When you say
when he illustrated
the Most High, I think of Bob Marley. You know, he was the Most High. Peter Tosh, they were the Most High.
Okay.
Well, maybe if this is comedy hour, maybe that's so. But what I can tell you is that I can produce the Dream Stellar. Let's just take, for example, let's take the Dream Stellar of Yehuti, which is Thutmose the fourth. Okay, I can pull up that illustration, and we can look at the fourth register down, reading from right to left, and you'll see the name of Nebuchadnezzar. So everybody, even E.A. Wallace Budge, even Chef Corleone, even Gardner, they know that we called it Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. I just gave an expression that's showing how the Europeans translate that and how it's faulty.
I'm just saying, Neb we know Tesha, and we know Earth. So that is not the Creator's name, first of all, because if you know the name of the Creator, then you would have the power. Because when the Creator spoke their name, because our Creator is androgynous, first of all. Our Creator is a he and a she, which represents the masculine and the feminine energy, which represents dualism. Okay? So we have to go right into the primordial forces now. So you're forcing me to take you into the primordial ocean of nothingness. All right, my brother? We got to go into the primordial ocean of nothingness. And as energy that is collected, absorbed, and then stored has to be released. So the Creator had to produce themselves as attributes. There's 4 attributes of the Creator. These 4 attributes become the 4 primordial field forces. So we have to relate this scientifically, mathematically, and with our cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious spirituality in order to have absolute accountability, and style validation. We have to place this in the balance of Maat.
Oh,
And this way,
go again now with my in the balance of my okay.
so where are you from? What temple are you from?
I'm from a temple. I don't belong. I listen. I tell people,
You're not from a temple?
If you want your temple destroyed and disrupted, invite me in.
And destroy my temple? So let me tell you one thing. Let me just explain one thing to you, because I don't want to upset this broadcast. I want to let you know. I was taught since I was a child that there's only two types of forces of beings on this planet. You're either a Shemsu Aru or you're a Shemsu Set. Now I consider myself a Shemsu Aru.
You was taught that as a kid. You said that since you were young, right? So you mean to tell me that the people who taught you, they knew about the Shemsu Hor?
Of course they did. Everybody understands the Zeptembi. Everybody understands the first time.
That's not true. No, that's not.
Okay, all right, but brother, let me just say something. I mean,
that's
I'm 70. I'm 71 years old. I've been in the temple for 66 years. I used to push my baby carriage in there. Okay, so don't tell me what wasn't taught. I'm just saying to you that what temple are you from? I'm saying
I'm not from.
Okay, so where did you receive your training? You self-trained?
No, I was trained by Mutriketi Amen and Dr. Theophilo Benga.
Okay, all right. I dismiss you. All right, I'm gonna fall back. Now that I know who your teachers are, I'm gonna fall back and let you display your information to the people.
I told
because
the same thing that you should always check out the teacher
because brother Reggie's gonna mute my mic in a minute. Okay, brother Reggie's getting ready to mute my mic, so I'm gonna fall back.
Why?
I'm not gonna mute your mic, but I'm not gonna. Hey, Patah, Sika Sor, my good brother, a teacher of mine, right? What the thing about it is, you didn't know from where he comes from. So he is a great Meta teacher, and he teaches in Dr. Ricetti's School of Philology.
And I teach at Abimi Tumakasa. Excuse me, Abimi Tumi. Now, those are the two websites I teach at. The Kemetic.
Well, I'm going to bow out. I'm going to bow out, fall back, retreat, and give you the floor, my brother. And I appreciate knowing you. I am humbled and honored.
Do it. Thank you.
One of the things that I find is that there are different groups in the community, and both of these brothers are older than me, and I've learned to be able to listen. I do know both of them, and I do know Baba Bonotchi is very critical on words that we use. And I also know that Patah Sika is also critical on words that other groups use. Both of you talked about Nebuchadnezzar or mentioned Nebuchadnezzar, and that was on the, so Baba Bonotchi did mention that as what they talk about existence, the Lord of everything, all of existence, without limits. And so you talk about that. That's one of, yes. Patah Sika saw, but what I do find is that this is a great space where at least you meet each other and you can point out what your disagreements are. I would tell you, Baba, Elder Patah Sika Sor, Baba Bonotchi doesn't deal with words like divine because he feels it's best expressed in nature, right? And the problem is that the way that you use divine is certainly not the way that some of these other groups use it. So
listen, That's not the
Yeah.
problem. The problem is not word substitution. I tell my students this all the time. The problem is conceptual. I don't have a problem. What I tried to illustrate was how people no longer use God. Now they use the Most High. But they treat it the same way. It's the same concept, but just a different word. And that's a problem. So it's not just different word use. I have a problem with these words altogether. Why? Because they've been given to us by these Europeans. There is no listen, the word divine and the word God in the meta-nature, they use the nature symbol to represent that. We didn't invent that. That came from the people. There is so that the people of Kemet never used the word God. The word God didn't exist before these Europeans came along. It comes from them,
I never.
not from
Yeah,
us.
so you're right. You're absolutely right. I had nothing to do with that. That's scholarship. That's scholarship.
That's why I don't use words God or divine, because they're too problematic. They are full of so many they are loaded with preconceived ideas and concepts that get in the way when we start trying to translate, understand the meta-nature text, because we think in
That gets in the way of what? What does it get in the way of?
It gets in the way of us understanding the original meaning of these ideas and concepts.
Okay, all right. There you go. Now, what is the original? Now we're hitting the source. Now let's go. See, I have a book that's over 50 years old. This book here is from the temple. This book is based upon the origins of existence and the creation and development of the universe, and it has a GUT. We have a RSGUT, which is the Grand Unification Theorem. This is the Rastarian Star Grand Unification Theorem. Okay, brother? Have you ever read the book?
No, I haven't read the book. I'm familiar. I'm familiar with the concept and the African who made it up. I'm familiar with it, but no, I haven't read that book. But I repeat, it's still some problems with the concepts and the words. So, I just have a.
Without a doubt, I agree with you. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to do that.
Well,
anything that has to do with scholarship, anything that has to do with any type of European or Plato, anything that has to do with Platonism. Okay, because all scholarship comes from Plato.
Oh, man, this is okay.
And Plato went to my school. I taught Plato. So why would I call myself a scholar when he came from my school? It makes no sense. You have to be unhinged to even approach from that direction. I'm from the Naga.
I have never used the term scholarship. You use that term, but now you're gonna accuse me. You're the one brought that term up. I didn't bring up the term scholarship. You brought
the information that they're regurgitating and streaming is from academia. And if you're from academia, that's the school of Plato.
With more than one person, this is going, it's back and forth, right? So I repeat, we're at a point now where I've asked you at the next presentation to bring your information.
I apologize again. You're right.
Don't apologize. So that
I'm gonna fall back.
You have to apologize. You're not doing anything to apologize for. So I don't see why you're apologizing, because you haven't did anything to apologize for. Who have you offended to apologize? You haven't offended me.
Continue.
So why? So you don't have to apologize. That's this.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just fall back, retreat, and bow out.
So
okay.
I repeat, we'd like to have a conversation with not just one person, because that's just a going back and forth. So we have reached impasse where I've come with a way we can get over that impasse. So just having a conversation going back and forth, is not worth it. So bring your information, then we can talk then. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Bring the text so that we can analyze the text. That way we can give the people, listen, that's not meta-nature.
It's in the
Bring,
book, the middle. It's in the book. I got
bring
illustrations.
the
I got
text.
translations.
Bring the
I got
text.
everything you need.
Bring the text.
The texts are
Bring
in
the
the
text.
book.
Bring the text. You brought the book. Bring the text. Show me the
I'll give you
text.
an opportunity. I'll give you an opportunity to scan it.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions, comments,
Hey
discussion?
Reggie, I'm gonna fall back and let
Well, I think you'll be on. You'll be on Thursday. I have. I definitely have Morpheus, and there was some confusion because I had put Morpheus in Baba's time because I I was trying to find times while sa.neter is out of town. But you'll be on, and then at least I'm glad that you talked, or at least met each other. You're both about the same age.
No, that's not. No, it's not no about the same age. I'm 74. I'll be 75 this year. He's
Okay.
71, so I'm his elder.
Oh,
yes, you are. Do it.
Okay, clear language is clear. Clear language is clear. You look younger than that, Baba. Excuse me. Um, I excuse me. But what I'm just yes, sir. Um, and this is your show, and you have a student or of yours. His name is Bak Ramen, and
I'm here. Hitep Seba. I enjoyed the presentation. Right on point. You took out all of that mysticism and some of that garbage that a lot of these temples relate as what is Maat, and put Maat in the proper context. That is something that exists throughout nature. Is not this all those and also to relate it, Maat is us black people coming together to fight against our enemies. Simple as that. And so I appreciate that today, Seba. But as usual, you got to be fighting against these concepts.
Yeah.
We talk about, and the
temples are.
Yeah, and
These temples are rough.
Yeah, and what you always teach us about this word substitution is about understanding the concept. Right. And that's what I think most people get lost.
Look, one of the problems is we're not familiar enough with African ideas and concepts, so that we can't substitute.
Right.
Substitute, or you always understand what you know based on what you already know.
Right.
So with that, it becomes a problem because we don't know African languages and concepts. So we do know Western ones, European, the white boys way, the cracker way.
Yeah.
So that when we learn meta-nature too often, we try to understand these ideas, concepts by converting them in our brain into concepts we already know and understand. It make us feel good and make us feel comfortable. That's why I cringe at these terms, because we've gotten so used to using them. At the beginning, I went through a whole thing showing you how we use words like artificial to show them, like, what the hell is artificial? But it's one of these concepts and the words that we use. We love to use these ideas without realizing that they don't mean what we think they mean. They don't even mean how we use them. They only have meaning in the words. The words have no physical effects, and we don't realize that this is one thing that make our words less powerful. The language shows that words were invented to express concepts, ideas, and our experiences in nature.
Right.
So nature was the focus. Now we get up and we want to come up with all type of spiritual and one thing I always find interesting, we get a concept so as below, how does it go? As above, so below. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, anybody knows that that's not true. If you look at subatomic principles, they do not work the same as ordinary physical, is reality. So that's that's about as below as you can get. But it's not the same. It doesn't have the same principles. So we have adapted these European concepts and ideas. They make us feel good when we use them, but examine them in detail, and you find that they are faulty.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just like with me and those elders that we translate into Duat, right?
Yeah.
And obviously it's not the same as above as below as you going through that concept.
That's a good example. Now here's a brother who examining text. They are translating text from that expresses the 12 hours of the night or the Duat. And what he said is very much true. None of those ideas are in there.
Yeah, and this last thing I just wanted to say, that's why we don't translate nature, right? Yeah. Because the Europeans, or the Amu, they translate it as deities or whatever. They ain't no deities. And I'll stop there. Again, Shemotep Seba.
Do it. Madasipa.
Well, I would say this before Elder Suntan comes on. So what I'm showing the audience and what is happening is at least good in dialogue, in that there is a problem in the usage of terms and language. And so we hear a lot of these terms from some of the younger people, and they think that they have learned from the elders, and then but they never go to the elders and bounced off these ideas, or they avoid the elders. And so now we're in a situation.
Hold on.
Yes.
They learn from some elders, but they don't communicate with all the others. But
okay,
repeat, most of the people who are studying Kemetic from a shrine, temple, spiritual aspect, because they were introduced to it that way. The brother just told you that. He said that like he was rolled around as a baby in the temple, and he learned those ideas there. I repeat, most of the people you will find that always ask somebody, who was your teacher? And you will find that most of those who are in temples and stuff like that, they have learned from people who were like that. I repeat, the people I learned from were Black nationalists. Their focus was, you learn this language so that you can learn African ideas, so you can throw out the white boy's way of understanding and engaging the world. There's a quote I meant to read at the beginning. Is this: Wade Noble said, "Power is the ability to define reality and then have others use that definition as their own." That's why I hate these words. These European words we're too lazy to learn the African language so that we can think differently. Now, I've also I've studied a little Akan. What you start to see is that like there's a lot of common concepts because they all represent an African way of thinking. So that's what I'm trying to get to, and that's what I'm trying to tell us is so important. It's not enough just to be metaphysical and deep. We have to understand that we are in a fight, a battle, a fight. And we're not going to deal that fight, or I should say, we cannot win this fight by using European ideas and concepts. Why? Because those ideas and concepts are formulated to fit them. Something else I said at the beginning that this brother should have heard, and that is, okay, I lost my train of thought. Okay. lost my train of thought.
Well, you were talking about Nebuchadnezzar, so you was talking about.
No, I wasn't talking about Nebuchadnezzar. I'd moved long ago for that.
Okay.
But that's all right.
I was just trying to follow the dialogue and try to figure
out. When you get 74, you will experience some of the same, things.
I have another guest on, Brother Hercules, and then I had a guest from Dr. Jahi Issa, a chat from Dr. Issa. Dr. Jahi Issa asked about the term deities and questioned why don't you use that. So he has been in the Akan tradition, and so that's the bosom. But you sometimes with language we use their language of God and deities rather than what the Okay, I'll stop. You got it.
Oh, well, for the same reasons. It's so full of baggage until it's best to just drop it instead of trying to rationalize its use. We know that deities are related to gods and divinity and all these concepts. These concepts, and a lot of times they have been adopted by Africa for a few different reasons. There was an example once. I had a conversation with a young man. He was telling me how they have images of Allah, Jesus, in some of the shrines, in some African shrines. And when they was asking the brothers why they have them in there, they told them that like they have found that these names and concepts have energy, so that they that they have power, and that they were using them to represent certain powers. And I told them this: that's not true. The images themselves have no power. It's the energy and power that you assign to them. They don't inherently have them. You assign this power to them, so that understanding that there's no need to use them, because we already have expressions to, or I should say, we already have ideas and concepts to express that, and we don't need them. We are really the way that they understand the world is so opposite to us until we weaken ourselves by using their ideas and concepts and not relying on our own. So when I read the meta-nature text, I don't see gods, and I don't see things that represent divinity. Now, I've often asked people, what does divine mean? And they don't answer it, but I can. Divine basically means of God.
Right.
So in understanding that, I know that as just another word that we're using to say God. We just used it in a different way. That's what I was saying. It's not our word substitution. It's about getting rid of these concepts and ideas altogether. Now, of course, you got to get rid of words, but we're not substituting words. We're getting rid of them so that we can get a more original African understanding of how these ideas were expressed in Africa, not how they've been translated by Europeans. That's why I don't use words like God or divine or deities. Deities mean deity of God. So,
Brother Hercules, you have an opportunity to talk to Baba Bonotchi, and you had some questions, and oh boy.
But I think Elder Suntan was before me.
Oh, Elder Suntan, is he still there? Okay, so Elder Suntan, how you doing?
Yeah, you just bunny hop me, Reggie.
No, what it is my screen don't see everything. So
hey, listen,
trying to avoid you, maybe we're trying to avoid you.
And listen, y'all gotta support our brothers. Y'all gotta support our guests, right? So whether it's $5, $7, $10, y'all got it. support our brother. I put in his Cash App so many times, and at the end I'll show you the books that you can get. But anyway, brother Elder Suntan.
Yeah, I have a question that I heard the elder speak. Peace to you, brother Elder, and
Okay.
peace to you, brother Hercules. Me and you kind of stay on the same, wavelength, me and brother Hercules. But this is a question to the elder. Elder, you and also peace to my little brother Reggie. I'm not so much an elder. I'm just in the middle. I'm in the third quarter. I'm like 66. So you elder than me. And here's the thing of these terms we use. I heard you say earlier that spirituality was not used back in Kemet, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now that I had a little pushback on that, for the simple fact that it's a learning experience for me. Not I would reword that and not say pushback, but I can see if you can educate me a little bit more, because back in the day of Kemet, they had rituals because they lived in, they was desert people. It was more closer to the desert, so they depended on floods and things of this nature. However, when they needed water, rain, floods, whatever, and it wasn't there, because we know, me and you logically know how nature works. So then that's when they went to spirituality. They went and asked the sky literally for these things. And I got to let me just finish. Okay. Rituals and spirituality are deeply connected. When I said rain, I meant, because like I said, I just used rain as an example because they was close there in the desert, so they really depended on like floods and things like that. Yes. So I just try to make the analogy just a little bit more clear.
I see.
So
right.
I understand. What I'm saying is rituals and spiritualities are one and the same because they use them together. Would you agree?
No.
No.
Okay. So educate me, because my logical thinking. If you're not getting any, okay, I'm gonna say this and I'll fall back. Okay. If you're not getting any rain, I don't care what part, and I'm using rain just as an example. If you're not getting, and you're back in them days, you don't have meteorologists, and you need water. You're gonna look to the sky where the water comes from, and you through your thirst and through your wanting water, you're gonna ask the sky for water. That's just plain and simple.
No, hold up now. It's plain and simple for you.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Plain and simple for everyone. Now, the reason is this: they might not have had someone who studied the sky like we do today, but they had people who studied the sky. So saying that like we couldn't predict things is just not true. They were able to study the sky in what we would call, quote unquote, a scientific method, so that they didn't have to pray or have ritual for things like that, because they understood the natural order. The Nile flooded every year. Now, it didn't flood to the same extent every year, but they understood that. They would watch the sky so that they could tell the time when the flood was coming. So they didn't have to pray, because they understood that this was a cycle that happened periodically. So what they started to do was understand the periods. You can only understand those periods by looking at the stars in the sky and understanding that they represent cycles. And then you start to look and measure those cycles. So they didn't have to have rituals for rain or things like that. Why? Because they knew the Nile is going to flood at a certain time every year. I think it's around in July or August, something like that. It's coming every year, so there was no need to do that. So we have, under the guise and rules that they were spiritual people, we've come up with a lot of things about Kemet that just was not true. So I repeat, they didn't look up at the sky. They wasn't mystified, because they examined nature to a degree, to such a they examined nature from such an intensive state until they could understand the cycles in nature so that they could predict certain things, when they was going to happen, because they measured the cycles of them happening.
All right. Thanks a lot. You can go ahead, Brother Hercules.
Okay, so Brother Hercules, and then I have to ask Babo, do we just want to right now close out, introduce some of your books after Brother Hercules?
Certainly.
Because I don't want you to, it's 9:41, and this is way past your, and I hope that people support it.
Way past what, my bedtime?
No, no, your time to study. You got a lot of, you always working, right? So there's other things that you do. So, see y'all. So to the audience, you'll have to understand when I work with and I choose to call and support, I get beat up, but that's because they get beat up. So Baba Bonotchi, Dr. Ben and Dr. Obenga really did it to him, right? And so what he gives to the other generation is a certain amount of strictness. Now, some of the other people that you see out here, and I'm not going to mention them, but I have a debate with one of them. They can make up anything that they want, and they don't ever have any pushback. But they will not take they will not peddle their goods to some of our greats. They won't do that, because if they did, they would get real pushback. So what they do is call them dear elders and all of this type of stuff, but they don't try to listen to what these elders are saying. So, Brother Hercules, shoot your shot. Good luck, brother. All I can just say is, young brother, good luck, brother.
Hey, what's up, Peace Elder? Hi, it's good to meet you. How you doing?
What's up, my brother?
I really don't have too much of a pushback at all, because after hearing what you just said about 10 minutes ago, now I kind of understand your point of view better. And been listening to you. I was listening to you last time you was on, and you had mentioned the brother Obadele Cambone,
Yes.
who I definitely been in contact with and follow. Part of the BB Toomey joint.
Yes.
And because I have my degree is in mathematics, and I talked to him last year, and he was the one who suggested to me to go back and study the meta-nature, the text, and read it and see what, because I was explaining to him that I think that they knew more math than what we've been told. And he suggested that I go back and read and find out, see what you're gonna see. So for me, just looking at it, I definitely see the advanced mathematics that they have understood. I think the only thing that I'm kind of having a hard time understanding is your angle at saying that they weren't like spiritual. What I'm saying? They wasn't into the spirituality thing. And we know that for them there was no such thing as spirituality. They didn't have a name for it, because their math and sciences, that's so-called spirituality, it was all one. It's like in trying to and when I look at it, you can see like the same. Obadele came up. He didn't come up with it, but he has a Ndinka theory, a paper that he wrote about the Ndinka theory, the cognitive theory and stuff. So you can see that as well with. I see that as well with ancient Kemetic.
Yes.
With this, coming and going out. You disagree?
Correct.
But I think I don't have much of a pushback. It's just that it's just kind of hard for me to grasp your understanding of how they letting go of the spirituality, but yet when we see spirituality all throughout, African, systems and stuff.
It didn't let go of spirituality. Let me explain it this way. You can't know the physical through spirituality, but the only way you can engage spirituality is through the physical. You can't do anything physically. You can't do anything spiritually. Everything you do, all action, all behavior is inherently physical. So ask somebody what they do for spirituality. Ask them what their spiritual things are. what do they do for spirituality? And they would tell you what they do physically, because the only way you can know the spirit is through the physical, because they're the same. Your body does not separate the physical and the spiritual. They're the same. So that they didn't have a word for it because it's unnecessary. They knew it was there. So there was no need to have a word for it because it's impossible to separate them. So to avoid spirituality, I use the term unseen. Because, see, it doesn't have all of the baggage of spirituality. We use spirituality to mean other than, to be special. And that's the problem. One thing I found was this. Africans use the words differently than we do. They use the word God and spirituality to mean everything. We use God and spirituality to mean above, to be special, and to be other than the this physical world. Well, that's the problem, because if it's other than the physical, how do you know it? Just remember, I define nature as the environment that allows us to have a shared experience. So something that is beyond nature, how do you know it?
Can I say this real quick? Spiritual, you can use the word, I would use the word, and it's not separating from the body at all, Elder, but spirituality can come through meditation. See, when you meditate,
See, that's my point.
Hey, Reggie, what do you mean? That's what I do.
You gotta listen. You gotta listen.
You said that you can come up, you can reach spirituality through meditation.
Yes.
My point was that you don't have to reach something that's already there.
Right. Right, but you drift off into meditation.
No, we have to talk this whole thing about that if you meditate, there's an inner true voice. The inner voice is dialogue. It's only dialogue. It's not truth, it's dialogue. You have an outer dialogue, that's your voice. You have an inner dialogue, that's your thinking. But it's dialogue, it's not truth. We have taught that through
it's not truth.
You can arrive at truth. Through meditation, you arrive at and develop your inner dialogue. But it's dialogue, not truth. That's the difference. We don't understand that.
Okay, so I want to be honest, and I'm gonna lose 80% of the people that's on. Okay, on our boards, I'll just ask Brother Hercules real quick, just a quick question. Most of the so-called Kemetic teaching of spirituality on our board, who do we get it from? On YouTube, in Black News 102. Okay, you got to think. Suntan, where do we get it from?
Well, okay. I'm gonna ask a question.
Who do
we get it from?
Who do we get what from?
Right. Anything that you hear about Kemetic, who's the authority of Kemetic spirituality in the House of Consciousness?
Tahuti,
Jabari, sa.neter. It's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. So, Brother Bonotchi, you know where it comes from. Well, no, sa.neter don't teach no Kemetic spirituality and stuff like that. I didn't say
sa.neter.
So who did you say?
I said Shaka almost.
Right.
I would say Smash.
Wait till Baba Bonotchi come back. He just took a break.
Because see, here's the thing, Reggie. You know whether
no talking to me. Okay, no talking to me. You got the guest there, right?
No, I can hear.
Okay, so I want to ask you to this a lot of these notions that we're talking about. Who do you get it from in the House of Consciousness?
I don't get it from nobody. I'm my own thinker.
No, who do you see now? You're not. Who
yes,
did you
I am.
Say? What did you just say?
I said I'm my own thinker.
No, prior to that, where do you hear it from on this platform?
You said Tahuti and Jabari and Shaka Amos.
Say it again.
I mean, more. I hear from more than that.
But on this platform, where do you hear from?
Why is it important?
You making a dichotomy?
No, I'm asking you a straight question.
I mean, I didn't heard it. Listen, I didn't heard it from Jabari, from Shaka, from Smash. I didn't heard it from each practitioner.
Reggie, why are you pressing this point?
Right. It's a non-sector. It's a free thinker's mindset, Reggie. So we can adopt. I can adopt what I want to adopt, whether you agree or not. Right?
It's not a free thinker's mindset.
Oh, it's mine.
Pressing this point. Let's drop this. If you don't mind. You said it was my.
I don't mind.
Didn't you say that, Reggie? Didn't you say that? You said it was my.
I said it.
Let's drop this point.
I didn't say nothing.
Let's drop this point.
I appreciate that, Elder. So, like I said, I'm more, I'm no longer, Elder, I'm no longer super religious. I was brought up in the Abrahamic faith. I moved away from that when I found out about Kemet when I was about 57. So I'm not deep into Kemet, but my whole thing is I'm more philosophical than anything, just on life, period, and how life and ideals are brought up and made and by the people who structure them, because it takes society to structure ideals and to pass on the information. And I understand through the colonization of Europeans that they didn't put out a whole transcript of information that we to this day go by. And we stick back and we will argue to death about it. So my whole thing, I remain a free thinker, and I remain philosophical, right? So if I want to think how I think, that's my own personal business. Right. Because at the end of the day, my spirituality is how I set the parameters, but the words have a definition that's been Europeanized.
Yes.
So, it's a two-way street. And then I listen to people who studied in subject matter, as of Reggie, as far as the Kemet side of the situation is. And then I would listen to you, and then I would listen to also the monotheistic people. But I didn't move away from that because I'm gonna leave it right here. I'm not gonna give you a long diatribe. Elder, I found out through my whole 57 years, I found out that Kemet was before the Abrahamic faith. I never knew that. I'm like, well, if Kemet was there, then when the Lord created the earth in 7 days, where was Kemet at? And then, I got into this conscious community about 2015. So I've been learning 2016. I've been, it just moved me away from that idea and that concept of a Abrahamic faith. So now I'm just on my own journey. I pioneer my own ideals. However, I will listen, and I'm not dogmatic, no type of way. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yes, no, I agree.
And I'll leave it there, because I had learned a lot from Brother Reggie here, and he like 6 years younger than me, but he's effective in his area of study.
Yes.
So when I heard a lot of people talking, and then he used to come in back in 2019 and straighten them out for me because I didn't know. I'm one guy, Elder, who could say I don't know. You can call it an agnostic or whatever you want to call it. If I don't know, I'm gonna back up. So, my point is, and then let me leave this because I can talk or not. I don't believe Champollion, a European, came in and deciphered some African way of living and word. So that's just me. See, I'm gonna go that far.
Hold up. Let me.
Yep. Explain that to me.
Language is a structure that is based on logic and order.
Okay.
So that what they found is that, like, when you talk about something, that's a subject.
Right.
Subject has to be doing something or something done it. So what I'm saying is, like, there are certain concepts that all languages use. So what they did was this. They found a text that was written in Greek, Medu, and another
Kemetic, and
yes, right.
And what's Kemetic, Reggie?
It's one of the last forms of the Medu that's indigenous with yes.
So what they did was, since they knew Greek, they could say they figured out that they're talking about the same thing because it was a notice, and it was written in 3 different languages so that different people could read it. So with the Greek part that they knew, they said, okay, well, this is a Greek pronoun. So since this is talking about the same thing, if I can identify a structure in this other language because they're saying the same thing, that means this must be a pronoun. Now, what they found was the word, the name of the Kemetic queen. It's Reggie. What was her name?
In the Rosetta Stone?
Yes.
Yeah. In the Rosetta Stone, I'll tell you right now.
I can't recall, like I said. But anyway, what I'm saying is like that's how they did it. So it's anything magical. Anybody could do it because pronouns, subject, and verbs, all languages use them. So if you can identify them in one language that you already know, you can go to the other language and look at the forms and figure out, this must be a pronoun. This must be a verb because all languages use them. I just gave you an example. When you talk about something, that's your subject. That subject has to be doing something or something did to it. So that's active and passive use. So these things are standard in all languages.
So why did Walter Williams disagree with that?
Because Walter Williams is an idiot. Walter Williams came to Detroit. He ran Walter Williams out of Detroit. Walter Williams had the nerve to say that the meta-nature is never.
That's why I'm at, Elder. I'm here in Detroit.
Oh, okay. You're in Detroit. I am too.
Oh, yeah, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see your stuff in the background.
I'm right here in Southfield and Warren.
Okay. I'm up around it's Wayne State. I live.
Oh, okay. You in
Queen Arsenal. Was it Queen Arsenal?
Queen Arsenal? No. I can't.
In the Rosetta Stone?
It may have been. I can't recall offhand, but you know.
Hey Reggie, he in the New Center area downtown Detroit. Yeah. The New Center area is close to our downtown.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah, in the Rosetta Stone, they only mentioned Queen Arsenal, but that was a wife of Ptolemy. So in the Rosetta Stone, there might have been in the cannabis tree.
It's another queen's name, but like I say, I haven't looked at this information in a very long time. I have to go back and really go over the deal to make sure refresh the memory. I like to tell people I don't like to learn or I don't look at things anymore that I don't find interesting because your brain is like, it's a memory stick. And so you have to watch what you put in because it gets in the way of other stuff. So I don't like to put in wrong ideas because you're going to have to get rid of them anyway.
Okay. But some people will follow wrong ideals too. So I see what you're saying.
Yes.
It can be, sometimes it can be not detrimental, but it can cause errors because people are gullible, If you sound good, they might attach themselves.
Yes, that's what's happening. Right. It sounds good. Most people, they believe things because they sound good.
Right, exactly. So they attach themselves to this ideal and they would get dogmatic about it. So,
Hercules.
Yes, sir.
I recommend getting as much as you can from Bonotchi. He's one of the best young minds out here. I work with him often. I should say a lot.
Yeah. He just dropped his new book. I'm about to order that one.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, so
I appreciate the time.
Okay, so I'm winding it down. So let me get it. So Hercules, if you can see your way out, and then let me see.
I'll head back to the chat.
Thanks. And then Harwin, if you got a question real quick, you can ask it, and then that's about it. All right, for this show. Okay, Brother Harwin, please. You have a question for the elder? Brother Harwin, do you have a question for the elder? Oh, we don't hear you. Let me try to unmute your mic. You usually come back in and come back on, and then I see Luke. So Harwin, come back in and come back out. I'm gonna remove you. Come back in and come back out. Luke, can you please just ask one quick question to the elder?
Yes, good night to everybody. Good night, Elder. You made a statement where you were saying that they knew the Greek that was at the bottom of the Rosetta Stone. So my question to you is the Greek letters, the letters, um, the what does the letters of the Greek alphabet make? What sound does the letters of the Greek alphabet make at the bottom of the Rosetta Stone?
Greek. I think we discussed this yesterday. Greek.
No, no,
What's
no.
Greek?
I'm asking. No, no. I'm not asking which language. What I'm asking is the letters in Greek. What is the phonetic sound of the letter A in Greek?
I don't know.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ella.
Okay, Brother Harwin, do you have a quick question?
Peace, peace. I didn't see the rest of the show happen, but I hope I'm not asking a redundant question. I just want to know if the elders' views on the nature or what the debate that's coming up.
Well, he's not going to really talk about that. So he did explain.
What did he
some.
say? I didn't hear his question.
He asked you a question about the netures, but you already explained that.
Okay.
What your definition of nature is. If you want to just give a quick definition. Yeah.
The natures are the principles that we use to understand and engage the world by. So the example I like to use is the word moot. We know that in Kemetic, moot is represented by a vulture, a bird, right? But the concept itself is universal because it represents a mother. Unless you have experienced some very abnormal situations, everybody has a mother. Everybody comes through a mother. So these are universal concepts that we use to understand and engage things. If you understand this concept, you can see how history is a nature, because history is one of the main principles we use to understand things. When you get a job, what do they ask for? They ask for your work history. When you wake up in the morning, what you do that day is based on the history that you did in the past. When you go to a doctor, in order to understand your health, they ask you for your health history. History is a nature in terms of, if you understand what natures are. Natures are the principles that we use, or I should say, the natures are the principles that structure the world that we find ourselves engaged in.
Can I ask one more question, Elder? Just one more
Certainly.
question.
You know, go ahead.
Thank
He asked
you.
me shortly the last time, so.
Thank you. Saying that you said that you don't know where they get the sound for the Greek letters from,
Yes.
then if they use that to get the sounds and for the decipherment of the hieratic demotic,
No, they did not. That's not true. They didn't. They didn't use those sounds. See, words, hold up. Understand this, right? The phonetics of a language is the most abstract. The phonetics of a language can mean almost anything, because it's based on agreement. Nothing logic, it's based on agreement. We agree that this sound is going to represent this symbol. That's agreement. Language is based on agreement, so that they have certain grammars that are used, but the grammar in various language is structured in different ways. And an example is this. In meta-nature, verbs start sentences because verbs are more important. In English, subject, nouns start sentences. Why? Because nouns are important in English. Verbs are fluid. Nouns, it defines something as this and not that. It's a different way of thinking. So that our languages are more fluid because we're more fluid thinking intellectually, conceptually. And that's what I tried to show earlier when I showed how in Kemet, they express ideas that go together by using the same phonetic sounds to express them. But what they changed was the determinative at the end of the word. So you had a word like shoddy. which means to suckle or to read. The same word, the same phonetics. The only difference is the determinative at the end of the word. So that's what I'm saying is that like they try to come up with the correct pronunciation of the meta-nature. You can't. Why? Because the most abstract aspect of any language is the phonetics. The folks in Jamaica, they speak English, right?
Yes, sir.
If you go there, you won't know that because you can't understand the word they're saying. Do you think a person in English who comes to the U.S. and go in the South and understand English? No. The phonetics of the language is the most abstract, unreliable. So don't focus on that. And I have to tell my students all the time, we're trying to understand the concepts that's being expressed, not the phonetics. I mean, the phonetics are important, but you have to realize the phonetics of meta-nature are contrived. It's a European, it's contrived. That's why you can't focus on the phonetics. You have to focus on the concepts that's being expressed.
Okay, so where did you get the concepts from the Greek? I'm trying to follow you to figure out like
concepts from the Greek. The Greeks got some concepts from them, but the well, actually they did get some Greeks. Now, astrology, not astronomy. Astrology was introduced to Kemet by the Greeks. When you look at Kemet, the oldest text for astrology is by a Ptolemy. So astrology was a science or was a belief system that was introduced to Kemet. They already had astronomy. Astrology was introduced to them, but they used astronomy to invent time. That's how the people invented time. The people of Kemet had the oldest college of star watchers in the world.
You wrote a book on it. You actually have a book on it.
Yes.
Which I'm going to show.
It's called.
What's the name? Okay.
So let me just do this. So I definitely want to. End the show. The first thing I'm going to do is show Baba Bonotchi's books, and then after I show his books, if he wants to close out and say anything, that's fine. That would be great. So let me just share my screen. Sorry. Okay. So invite you to to make an investment in Baba Bonotchi. Let's see. His latest book is The Ambiguous Nature of Words, East-Fed/Lying, America's Social Disease of Evil, the Oral Tradition of Africa, and
Oral Tradition of Africa represents the oldest educational system in the world. There's no educational system older than the oral tradition of Africa. So
you can get that from Lulu. You can get that from Lulu. You can get that from Lulu, right? So that is where this particular book is, and on Amazon there are some other books that are still on Amazon, right?
Where can you get it from?
Lulu.com. Lulu.com. Go there. And
all right.
Put in my name, and my books will come up.
Okay, and then so the ones that are on Amazon, are they only exclusively, or are they also on Lulu?
They're also on Lulu also.
Okay, so these are Amazon. So we like to say you can get them.
Yes, that's it. The Emmy Winuwiti, the Africans who invented time.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up all of the books that's on Amazon. So
that Africans do not get the credit for. They are the world's oldest timekeepers. They invented time by what? Watching the stars. They charted the stars.
So it's the Emmy Whitty, the African Star Watchers Who Invented Time. You can get that book. Then there's the Oral Tradition of Africa, Words as Intellectual, Cultural, and Spiritual Nourishment.
Now,
And
this is hold on for a second.
yes,
It's interesting. I'm growing also. You can see how in the title of the book I use on the word spiritual. I wouldn't use it now, but I'm saying in some of my early work, you can see me use the word God. I knew it was incorrect, but I didn't have enough understanding of the concepts in the original language so that I could come up with a better term. But over time, I started understanding more and more concepts that were represented in the text. So I don't use the terms anymore because I have learned enough to substitute them with more appropriate terms, either from Africa or from the meta-nature itself.
okay, so you can go to Amazon.com and you can go to Lulu and you could support our elder. And you can also tell us about the school. So let me put the school up.
Yes.
I'll put the school up, and you teach two places: Abatumi, Abibitumi, and Dr. Riketi's school. So let me put that up. Medu, Nature. I forgot how y'all spell it there. Nature, philology, philology, and see what comes up. Uh, 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 oh, I should have put Riketi.
Yes, that's all you have to do.
I forgot to tell Jed and Mount Kekere that you were on today, so he's going to get me. So, Institute of Kemetic Philology, that is the name of the school, and here it goes right here. So click it once. Give me a second. And Dr. Ketty has a series of books too. I'm waiting for it to come up. Sorry.
She has specialized in teaching folks who are not in schools this language. So most of us students come from the hood, it's neighborhoods.
The community. Yeah, the community. So this is the school, Institute of Kemetic Philology, and
which book is that, Brother Reggie?
I stopped the link. This is the school. This is a school where they have portraits.
I'm on my phone.
Hold up for a
So
second.
this is the leading school on the
Hold up for 1
internet.
second. Hold up 1 second. Could you roll back up? Okay, stop. Up a little bit more. Up a little bit more. Could you raise it? There's a sentence down here I want to read.
It doesn't go anymore.
No, it was just there. All you gotta do is
okay,
right,
sorry.
Stop.
Talking about the part that says, what is Medu?
You keep okay. Scroll down a little bit, just a little bit. There's a paragraph underneath this.
Okay. Thank you.
One more. Right there.
Okay.
Meta-nature means words of nature.
Right.
I'm finally getting through to people. I've been trying to say that, like, by translating the word, by translating meta-nature as divine and sacred words, screws them up. These are words that we use to make something special, unique. It's divine. It's sacred. No, these meta-nature are the words of nature. When you look at the language, it's comprised of everything that they saw in their environment: birds, animals, objects, everything in the environment. So they are the words of nature. There's nothing divine about them. So we are starting to learn and get this more correct. Meta-nature means words of nature. Nature being all the infinite forms of existence. I bet you Jed and Maat wrote this. But anyway, this is very good. That's true. So right, this is one of the websites I teach at, and Moot Richetti was one of my main instructors. I studied with her with this language for over 10 years. Her and Dr. Obinga. Now with Obinga, you get this the student of Dr. Joe. I like to tell people I represent a tradition, a Pan-Africanist tradition of studying Medu African culture. I learned from some of the best, but these people were all Pan-Africanists. So I teach, I repeat, look who the people's teacher were, and you will learn about them. My teachers were all hardcore Black nationalists. There was not a spiritual, a priest, or I should say, I learned none of this from any temple, no spirituality, and certainly no priest. When I talk to these people who are priests and things like that, to me, I can tell that they don't know what they're talking about. Now, I can't often tell them that. What I try to do is I try to show them the shortcoming in the words, that they use. But it's just a nice way of saying that, listen, buddy, you don't know what you're talking about. But hey, I understand where you're coming from because I understand who taught you. And that's all you have to understand, who taught them. And it tells you a lot about what they teach.
Elder, I have a book. One of your book. I wanted to know, does any of your books concentrate on the decipherment of the Rosetta Stone heavily?
No. Because, the Rosetta Stone is not the type of document I'm really interested in. It was a notice. I'm more interested in how the people thought and how they express certain ideas and concepts that are not really represented, or I should say, the information that I'm aware of in the on the Rosetta Stone is not really information I'm that much interested in. But I have to admit, I haven't translated it and I haven't looked at it in any detail. So now, once I look at it in detail, I might change my mind. So I will leave that open. But just like when you asked me a question earlier and I told you I don't know, I have no problem admitting shit that I don't know. So.
No. The reason why I asked that question, Elder, is because I am gonna put you.
Wait, Luke, good brother Luke. 1 second, brother Luke.
Yes, sir.
I'm going. It is 10:18. And it is 10:18. Baba Bonotchi, he can be reached. He could be back on the show to do part 2, and I hope you sent him a cash app. So a donation, right?
I'm gonna buy his books, all of them.
Okay, so that then, hey, once you do that, listen, Baba, what's your email? So if he does that, what's your email, Baba? So if he does do that, maybe you can autograph it or whatever.
Yes,
he does that. So what is that?
Can you post it? I don't see how I can get it.
I will do it.
Okay.
What's your email?
Yes. The brother, I can't remember.
Well, you know what I'll do? This is what I'll do.
Okay.
He can cash app you, right? He can cash app you and leave his contact numbers, right? So that's fine. So here it goes right here.
No,
so
Reggie, I can't cash out because I'm in the Bahamas.
No.
Oh, you can't cash out.
Right. That's why I'm saying I'm going to purchase all of his books, but I would love for him to autograph them.
Well, that's why I was trying to make it easy for him.
I could no. I could do that because I have most of the books here. So send me your email, and I will contact you, and then you could pay me, and I will sign your books for you. Because I have most of them here. It's just a little easier sometimes to do it,
Okay, so put your email. Put your email in the chat. Just put your email in the chat, and I will collect it, and I'll give it to Baba but I'll give it to Baba Bonotchi, and then you can exchange addresses. Okay.
Not a problem. I'm doing it right now.
So with that, yes, yes,
And the
Baba.
brother who lives here in Detroit, let me get your email also.
He's off.
I see you better.
Elder Suntan, but I'll get Elder Suntan email from him, and I'll send it to you because I have the email. So I'm waiting for. That's the last thing I'm going to do today, Luke. So I'm just waiting for your chat.
I sent it to you.
How you send it to me?
You said to put it in the back chat, right?
Oh, you put it in the back chat? Okay, so let's see.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Luke. Okay, great. So let me just see if I can copy it. Got it. And I'm gonna send it right now to Baba Bonotchi, and he can send you an email back. So let me just get that. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope that you learned about word usage, and somebody's talking. So I hope that you learned about word usage and the criticisms of the European language. Sometimes the language don't mean nothing at all, right? And I think he explains a lot of this in his book, and so it just helps us be really stronger. And his points on the meta-nature and Pan-Africanism and Black nationalism was probably most important, because from a lot of the what's out there now, when they want to talk about the meta-nature, they do not relate it to our existence, to our people's existence, to our movement. And that is a big criticism from the people who first learned the systems so that they can connect it to our movement, not to be something special.
Next time I come,
so I'm waiting for the email.
It's Black nationalism started in Kemetic. Most people don't realize that's because we have been given translations of the text by Europeans. So of course that's not something that they're going to point out. But me, Badalay, and a few other scholars have shown that Black nationalism started in the Nile Valley with the people of Kemetic.
And clip that right there. That's a clip right there. Y'all can clip that point right there. And the next time you come on, you talk about that a little bit, right?
Yeah, I will. And also this, one more thing. When the brother brings his text, right, bring your own translation with them. Because if you're going to ask me to depend upon a translation by a European, I'm going to have a big problem with it. So I would hopefully that you have gone over these texts and translated them yourself to make sure that all of the European nonsense have been thrown out of there. But don't worry, if you haven't did it, when you bring that text, we will do it together.
And so what y'all did is see something that very rare to your eyes, but we've seen elders talk often and agree and disagree, right? And so if you ever seen Dr. Joseph Benjo Cannon talk internally, or even Dr. Clark, because Dr. Clark had no problem calling you a damn fool, right? He had no problem calling you a damn fool.
I've seen him. As a matter of fact, one time Ernie Smith was giving a lecture at an ASCAP conference, and he said that, now Ernie Smith is a linguist. He don't know meta-nature, but he's a linguist. He said that the word nigger came from the word in Kemet, which was nagar. Dr. Ben got him and called him a damn fool. Told him he didn't know what he was talking about. And Dr. Ben was correct. So, but afterward, I asked Obinga, on the side, if that was correct. And Oben said he may be a linguist, but he don't know what he's talking about.
The linguist didn't know what
So
they're talking about.
Yeah, he's a linguist, but all linguists don't mean that they know everything about linguistics. It just means that they have studied it, they got a degree in it, but it don't mean that they really know anything about it.
I agree.
yeah, and Dr. Obenga was a linguist, so he was talking about another linguist, and he
Yes,
simply said he's a linguist, but he don't know what he's talking about. So the
right.
point is that there are some conversations. So you were privy to a conversation of uh, disagreement in terms that is very rare, because the problem is people don't talk to each other, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
we accept everything that's out there. So I definitely want to end the show. So Baba, I'm gonna put on the closing music, and
Okay.
I'll just call you real quick and thank you.
Okay.
And if you can check your Cash App and let me know what's going on. But this was a show of shows, and
Now,
I hope that people support it. Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night. So let me. I'm kind of frozen, y'all. So that's the problem. So this is a terrible time to be frozen. But
all you got to do is cut it off. Now you're through.
yeah, but there's two things that I have to do. Is I have to
Okay.
put the music on,
Yes,
and
I understand that you have.
it's part of sa.neter's branding.
Yes, yes,
I,
I got you.
I don't want to get I don't want to get fired. But you know what you can do is you can leave, and I'll wait until I'm unfrozen, and
Okay,
I'll put the music up.
okay, everyone. I definitely
So I don't want to hold you up.
appreciate your time and your energy and your input because you never know what's been communicated until you get a
Hey,
response.
good night.
So, Shem Hotep, everyone.
Night, Baba. But
your seed shining star. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't give up on us, don't stop. Jesus for, Jesus for, Jesus for. This is for my brother, oh, this is for my brother.